Hey, welcome back to this episode. So in the previous episode, we are able to do to get the category data from the backend application, and we completed all the coding related to that. And also, let me show in the screen where we were. All right. So here, if I open the application work here, localhost 4200, and this is our login page. Okay, so here we got it, and let me try to log in quickly. And hi, welcome back to this episode. So in the previous episode or in the previous video, we were able to get the category data from the backend application like this, and also we are not able to see the few images like this one and the Arduino, and I just updated in the backend in the database, and nothing related to Angular, just a backend. I just updated the image which was not displaying. And also I'll try to put the link in the description or in the course information where the backend application, so you can export or you can import it in the Eclipse or IntelliJ IDE, and you can run that application directly. And also I'll attach the database as well. So for the database, I was using MySQL Workbench, and you can do that. All right. So I'll give all this information in the description. All right. So please do check that, and you can able to get all this data for your learning purpose if you're doing this application. All right. Cool. So in that, okay. First of all, mainly in this episode, what we are trying to do is, so when we click on this category, for example, when I click on this battery, I want to get the products which is based on a battery products. All right. I mean the battery category. And the second example, suppose if I click on sensor over here, I need to get the products which is based on sensor category. All right. So one more example. Let's say if I click on motor or like DC motor, I'm to get the DC motors category or the motors category products. All right. So that is what which we are going to do. First of all, here in the application, see, all these are in vertical, right? So we need to make it to a horizontal way, and little CSS changes in the HTML in the HTML file. So I'll show you that first, then we can start doing our code. All right, so let's get started. All right, cool. So let me go to the code over here. So here there are small changes which you need to do. For example, here I have used div, right? Instead of using div, we can use something called ng container. So ng container is Angular container, so that be a best. Instead of keeping in div, so we can use ng container. It acts like a Angular container. All right, so let's use that. So ng container. All right, so we can use ng container over here. So let me copy this, and also I need to replace it over here. All right, so that's the first step. So if I go to my browser, see, it got changed, right? And also if you want to change more like giving spaces, everything, you can able to update it in the style over here. For example, if you need the margin, so I want to include a margin. Let's say margin right colon. Let's say I'm going to give as 20 pixel for now, 20 pixel and semicolon. If I go to my browser, it looks something like this now. So there is a little bit space. All right. So you can change however the look you want. The CSS, you can do the modification, you can do the trial and error method. For now, let's go and do the operation stuff which is based on Angular. All right. So for now, this is okay. This looks fine. And if I go to the products, here we can able to get the products actually. So when we click on this wires, we need to redirect to a products page, which is based on this particular category. All right, so that is what which we are going to do. All right, cool. So in general, okay, so let's do this first. All right, so let me go to the code here. So what we need, whenever we click on the name, okay, so whenever we click on the name, we need to update the, we need to get the product details of this category. All right, so first of all, see, I'll go to browser over here. This is what the backend endpoint is. So localhost 8080 product, and I give a number as 2. So 2 is the category ID. For example, see here, uh, I gave as 2, which means it's the category ID 2, and category 2 in the sense is this one, the battery. So you can able to see two types of batteries. One is 3-volt battery and 5-volt battery. For example, if I give uh, a number or an ID as 3, so now I'm getting as sensor. So our third category is sensor. So that's why based on the ID, it is giving the product details. So here like temperature sensor, ultrasonic sensor, gas sensor, IR sensor, etc. Alright. If I go for 4, I think I have not added any products. Yes. I think I have not added any products for 4 or 5. Yes, for 5 there is one temporary products over here for motors, but rest everything remains null. Alright, no problem. So let's use which is already there. So the main thing we'll focus on, when we click on this, we need to get the product. That's all. Alright. So we know that based on the ID. So based on the ID in the sense, whenever we click on this name, this name should go to the, I mean, we need to get the idea of this particular category, and then we need to try to fetch the products which is related to this particular ID. In our case, this particular category wires. Alright. So I'll go to my code over here. See, earlier we have created a class, right? Category. So we had category ID as well, right? So what I'm trying to do is, so here when I click on the name, I'm going to call a function. Okay, I'm going to call a function. In that particular function, I'm going to pass the ID of this category. All right. So how can we able to get the ID? So that's all. Very simple. We can use cat dot category. We want to get the ID. But the thing is, we need to call the method. All right. So what I'm going to do is, let's say, here for this h5, I'm going to include a anchor tag over here. All right. So I can include at the end as well, and I can also keep it here as well. So what I'll do, I'll keep it here for now. Or if that didn't work, we can go for a. All right. So anchor tag over here. All right. So whenever we click on this name, we need to call a method. All right. So we need to call that method. So the method, okay, let's say I'm going to give, when we click on this, so we're going to call a method name as display products. So let's say display, oops, display products. All right, display products based on what? Based on the ID. So what is our ID? Cat dot category ID. All right. So here I'm going to copy the category ID so that there won't be a spelling mistake. All right. So cat dot category ID. All right. So now we don't have this method, right? So we need to create this method in the component of the category list. So let me open this category list dot component.ts. All right. So here I'm going to create a new method which is display products, this one. All right. So we know that this particular method or an function is going to accept an ID. So that ID would be category ID like this of any type. As of now, let's consume or let's assume that we don't know the type. Right. So that's why we're giving any, if we give any See, why I'm mentioning an enemy, see here in the example I'm showing which is related to a number. But while you are doing or when you're working on the projects, you would be getting the data based on a string, right? Possible, or with the true or false value, something like that. So that's why I'm giving the type as any. All right, got it? Good. Now, let's test that method is working or not. So console.log, we're going to print the category ID. So category ID comma category ID. All right, so let me go to the browser here, and I think we need to include this anchor tag outside our h5 tag. All right, so I'm going to include it over here. All right, so that's the small change, and if I do it like this, it has to be an end, and I'm going to remove this particular closing anchor tag. All right, so let me go to the browser, and here, all right, so I'll click the right button and I'll go for the console over here. Here we have at the console, so I'll try to click on ys. See, are you able to see this? So I just click the ys, so category id is 1. So I'll click on battery, category id is 2, Arduino is 3, so Arduino is 4, sensor is 3, and DC motor is 5, LED light is 6, 8, 7. All right, so our method is working. All right, so now what we need to do, we need to get the products. So we already have the endpoint for the product, just we need to use this endpoint, and we need to pass the category id. That's all, very simple and very cool. All right, so now what we are going to do, let's go back to our code again. Here is our method, right? So first of all, we have not written a service to call the products based on the id, so that we need to do that first. So for that, we are going to create a new service called product service. All right, let's create a service called product service. So what is the command? Ng generate service product. I'm going to give ng generate service a product. So here at the left side, in few seconds, it's going to create a new service called product service. So first thing is we are going to delete this spec.ts file, which is not required. It's a garbage as of now for us. All right, so here we have the service. All right, so what's the first thing which we need to do? So whenever you're trying to write a service, obviously if you're getting the data from the backend application, means you include http client. All right, so private http colon http client, http client client. All right, so this been imported here successfully. All right, so let's write a method over here first. All right, so what we need to get the products based on the id. All right, so here I'm going to write a method get a product details by id. So this method should accept a number or an id. We can give any as well, but as of now I know it, so I'm going to give it as number. It's a service, right? So I'm like, I can able to give any or either number. So I'm showing in both the ways so that you can implement in both the ways as well. All right, so let's include it. Observable of type any. We don't know what type of data it is going to give, so that's why we are going to capture all those data. So that's why observable any type of data like this. All right, so now what we are going to do, return this dot http dot get whatsoever url. We need that url, right? So here we have that endpoint already, right? So we are going to use this endpoint, and we are going to pass that id over here. So let me paste it over here first. So here http localhost 8080, this is my backend application. So this would be different for your case, suppose if you're working for a company or if you were just learning over here. if you are using backend Spring Boot application, which I'll be providing in the description. So if you are using that the port number will be same, and if the port number is changed, you need to change the port number here. All right. So yeah, something like that. So now we are going to give the ID. This is the ID. That's all. So now our endpoint is done. For this method, we'll pass the category ID. So this ID will pass to here. Whatever this method is going to return, that we are going to capture in category component.ts. Alright. So very simple. What we are going to do, just very simple steps. Let's follow this very carefully. Alright. So now, so first thing what we need is we need the service of that product service, right? So let's create a service over here. So we'll call inside a constructor itself private and let's say product service. See why I'm using this with, see, we have that service which calls the products based on the category ID inside product service. So we are trying to get the function of a product service. So if you are trying to get that function in a category component or category list component, means we need to call that function based on its service object. Got it? Okay, let's do that. So here, all right. So here, yes, product service and colon. So to not to make any mistake, we'll copy this service name directly and we are pasting it and give a comma. All right, very simple. So just hover your mouse, quick fix and import that service and it's done. Alright, so now using this service we are going to call that method and we'll pass our category ID. So this dot product service, when you click on dot, you're going to get that method name. Alright, so inside this method name you're going to pass your category ID. That's all, done. So we know that when we click on that uh, the categories like wires, motors or batteries, we were getting the category ID. So that category ID we are passing here. So if you go to this method, whenever we get that ID, based on that it is giving the products over here, which I showed you like this, right? So whatever this method is written, we need to capture it in somewhere, right? Correct. So what I'm trying to do is, so let's create a new let's say an object, let's say variable product. This should take any data. All right, so now whatever the data I'm getting over here, this I'm going to store it in a variable like this dot product is equal to like this. So whatever the data I'm getting, I'm storing in this product. All right, so this product, see now, okay, let's try this. Let's test this. Console.log. Let's say this dot product. All right, this dot product. So let's go to our browser, and here we have open the console so that you'll get to know what's happening. When we click on this, we were getting the category, right? And now we are fetching the data. So when I click on this battery, see, earlier you are getting this category ID. That's all. Now we are getting an object, right? So if I expand this, you'll get all the information. But if we can't able to see this everything over here, whatever the data all there over here, all right? So we'll try to fetch the data inside this object observable, right? So I'm giving observable, right? So we are getting the data, but we need to pass this data over here. Now we know that this product, a variable, has all the product data of a category. So this data we need to pass to a products page, where that page is going to give all the products for now or for us, right? Okay, let's do that. So for that, what we need to do is we need to set an object. So to set an object, you need to create an object service in the product service page. So how to do that? Very simple. What we are going to do is i'm going to create I'm going to create a variable over here in the product service, uh, name as scope. Okay, scope of type any. I'll tell you why I'm doing this and you'll come to know. I'm going to create a method named as set object and scope as any. All right, so inside this scope we are going to pass our, what we are going to pass, we are going to pass our this dot product data, which is going to store the product data based on the category. So whatever the data we are getting in the scope, that I'm going to set inside this scope variable. Got it? So I'll tell. All right, that's very simple. So this dot scope is equal to scope, right? So now you know this scope has all the product data. Very simple. I'll tell the flow again. I'm going to use one more method. See, this is going to set the scope value, and also I need to return the scope value over here, right? So how to do that? Very simple. Just get scope is the method which I am giving, and here I am just returning the return this dot scope. All right, so this dot scope. Okay, so now I'll give you the flow. Very simple. In Okay, I have written it here. All right. Oh, just a second. My bad. So just cut this. You need to put it in product service page. All right, here. And here we have a. I thought I just clicked it directly. Let me do that. All right, done. All right. So here, whatever the data I'm getting in this product variable, I'm going to set this variable to a scope. And whenever get scope is getting called, we're going to get the product in the product service. Getting? Cool, let's do that. Here, we need to use a product service. So based on the product service, we're going to set it. So this dot product service dot sets object, we are going to pass this dot product. All right, so we had set this data. All right, so now when we set this, we should automatically redirect to the products page. Okay, so how we usually redirect it? So I'll do this over here. This dot router dot navigate. Here inside this we need to give our path over here. So what's the path for an product? So not the course, this one, not. All right, so I'll go to the browser. Here, when I click on products, see the path is products. So the category, the path of the category is the category slash category, right? So whenever we click on this, it should go to the products page. All right, so then it should display the products. So I'm going to copy this path. So when I'm going to set it, the product to the object, I should redirect to the products page. Got it? Simple? Yes, the forward slash. So let's test this. So as of now, it will redirect to the product page, but it's not going to display the products. So we need to do still more configuration for the products page, and that we're going to do it. All right. So let me go to the browser and category page. When I click on battery, we are getting into a products page, right? So let's see, do we have any errors or not? If we have any error, we need to solve that. So I'll go to the category again and I click on the YS. See, we are getting to the products page and object is also set. We need to call the object. That's all. That's the method is there. All right. So what we are going to do is, let me go to the code over here. All right. Cool. So now we need to reload the data. Okay, let's go to our where is our products. All right, product.ts. Okay, so this is a product.ts. Okay, just a second. This is a product.ts, and okay, we have product items as well. So let's come over here. Here we need to reload the data. All right. So now I am going to include private product. So because from the product service I need to call that get scope, right? That's why get scope or get object. What was the method which we just created over there? Let me go over here. We create get scope, right? So we need to call this. Let me come over here. Product items.combo.ts. So product service colon. So let me copy the service name over here. Okay, the service name. All right. So along with this, we need to include the router as well, which you know already. In the previous videos, I have mentioned you that. So router. All right. So let's import both of them. Okay. Import is done, and oh, just a second. Not been imported yet. So let's import this. And let's import the router. Why router is not getting imported? Yes, it will get imported. All right, cool. So here I am going to write a method name called reload data. Okay, so whenever we get to the products which we need to get the product data. All right, so I am going to create a variable called products over here. Okay, products colon observable. Okay, observable of what type? So we already have, oh, we don't have a class called product, so we need to create a class for the product over here first, because when we're trying to get the products over there, we need to have a class just like our category. See, in the category we have created a class, right? Where is our class? Here, like this, right? So we also need a category or product class where whatever the data will come, we need to store it in a variable of type product class. Getting? So let me do that. So now let's go to our product.ts over here. Sorry, product list.ts. So in this particular file, I need to just a second. Where is that? I just typed. Oh, okay. I was getting confused with the products and product items page. All right, cool. So here, whatever the data you are going to get, that need to store in a variable. See, I'll go to category.html file. See, what are the data we were getting, we are storing in an object called category. Correct? Same way, this category variable we were using over here to fetch all the category data. Same way, we need to store the product data in the products variable. Got it? So same way we'll be using to get the products in the product page. Got it? So this step, okay, this step we are going to do this now, and first we'll create a product class first. So to do that, cd go. Okay, we are going to create the class file inside product items page, or a product items component. All right. So I'm inside source now. Cd app and cd product items. So the command to create a class ng generate a class named as product. All right, it is going to take a couple of seconds. So here inside product items, you got a spec.ts file. Just delete that, which is not required. Here we have our class. All right, so we have successfully created the class. So we're going to write all the variables is related to product. So for example, I'll show you like this. product ID, product name, product price, description, image, category, all this data we're going to include in our class. All right, so then we are going to create an object of this particular class, and we're going to store all the information to that object. Be in from the object we're going to fetch all the data. All right, so that we are going to do in our next episode. So let's do that in next episode. So if you like this video, let's meet in our next video. Until then, take care. Goodbye. Bye.